Hello! This story is part of a series titled Memories of Tehran. I remember my dad in late nights, working out in the cold, aiming the flashlight or holding down an engine part as he lined it up, inserted the bolts, and tightened it up. I remember his fondness for onions and raw garlic at dinner time, making it almost impossible to work with him afterwards. And my mom being my beacon of hope, that she would come out to the balcony and yell down at him, "Boss, send the boys in. They have school tomorrow and homework to do." And my dad answering, "Yes, Ma, 5 minutes. Just 5 more minutes, that's all we need." And of course, it took her at least 3 more times of coming out. Welcome to Storytime with Kumars. My name is Kayo Jijina, and this is my story titled Tinkering with Cars. I hope you enjoy it. Living in Tehran, the cars Dad owned were clunkers, in constant need of repair. First there was an Opel, followed by a Buick and Dodge. Finally, there came Dad's dream car, a 50s Jeep wagon that included the title of Willys. Once an ambulance, but now retired, Dad had spent many months working, making it the family car. The engine was rebuilt, the body painted gray. A sun visor, fashioned out of aluminum, sat firmly riveted on 2 brackets just above the windshield. A bench seat was installed where once there was none. A single seatbelt for safety. A roof rack for sleeping on and hauling stuff. 2 bright halogen Bosch spotlights were mounted to the front bumper to cut through the falling snow, double nutted, making it difficult for anyone to steal them. Even after all the work had been completed, there was always something breaking. That's how it was with the cars Dad would own. Finding spare parts were always a challenge. Sometimes, out of desperation, he would go down to the industrial section of the city, where garages worked on cars, and small shops built custom parts to order, after which he always regretted his decision. They were not properly equipped to work on this type of a car. As brother and I grew older, we became Dad's helpers. It began with holding the light. The light was Dad's stainless steel flashlight, powered by 3 acid D-cell sized batteries and standard yellow bulb, which broke if you dropped it, and the batteries never seemed to last long at all. Dad would tell us where to shine the light, so he could work using both of his hands. It did not take Dad long to start sweating. The minutes would drag into hours. Our attention would begin to wander, as did the beam of light. Dad hated it when the light hit him in the eyes, or he was left working in the dark. A quick yell, or if I was within arm's reach, the sting of his wedding band across the back of my head would serve as a reminder to focus. Sometimes it got a little more interesting, like getting in the driver's seat, learning to start the engine and depress the clutch, slipping the gear shifter from first into neutral, releasing the emergency brakes, allowing the Jeep to roll until he yelled, "Boss son, hold it!" That's when I knew it was time to slam on the brakes. At first, all of this seemed scary, especially as Dad lay under the truck. I remember Dad's gray toolbox with multiple sliding drawers where he kept most of his tools. My job was to find his tools for him. Trying to come up with the right size of ring spanner or socket always seemed to be the challenge, as Dad worked on his cars. He was never good at guessing, and only got worse as the sun set below the horizon. The tools in his box went by many names, shapes, and sizes. It was a code of his own making. It did not take me long to learn them. There was the long star screwdriver, the short star screwdriver, and all the sizes in between, the flat screwdriver, the ring spanner and the open wrench, socket sets and filler gauges, triangle files, flat files, square files, and round files, a mallet and breaker bar for forcing when things didn't quite seem to fit. Out of all the tools in his toolbox, 2 were his very favorite. I say this because he kept yelling out for them whenever he would ask me to come down to help him. I would spend hours searching and never did quite know where to find them. They were called Stupid and Idiot, and only Dad seemed to know where to find them. In spite of all our differences, he was my dad, and I loved him.